G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope all is good in your part of the world. A review of a Smith's gun camera clock, reference 14A 4345, coming from the series of V-bombers, very famous back in the day. Perhaps it's a little bit of a stretch to call it as a review, as I am certainly no expert in this area and would really welcome some additional inputs from you guys, please. Let's just pause there and get in. So yeah, so as soon as the owner showed me this one, I just thought, yeah, I want to get it on the channel because, yeah, whilst I don't know a huge amount about it, it's a fascinating piece of military and horological history. And unfortunately, the only reference book that I have on this area doesn't include this particular little nugget. But basically what we're looking at, so let's just zoom in a fraction. What we're looking at then is a Smith's movement and clock, which basically then housed in an aluminium case block. And keeping with tradition, the key specs is 63 mils top to bottom. It's 36 mils then across, and it is a 10 mils deep. The clock aperture itself is around 24 mils, and I'm sorry, I don't think it's got any watery goodness to mention. Up at the top here, obviously, then we've got our RAF stores reference number, which is the 14A/435. And then, of course, the broad arrow stamp, as many of us will recognise, denoting government property. So, hands off, you horrible little soldier. Round the back, then we have the movement release. It's quite similar to many military watch battery replacement setups, you know, just sort of twisting them out. And then also further on the back there, sorry, I'm getting some reflection, we've got some additional references then, SCH 051. To note, the current owner and I both concur that the crown is clearly not OEM and has probably been attached to enable winding and setting. And sorry, I couldn't find any images of what the original crown or winding mechanism would have looked like. But as you can see, the little beauty works absolutely perfectly. Sadly, there's no loom. And again, I sort of semi-expected there to be loom if you consider what its intended usage. So the V-bombers, again, just for context, included the famous Vulcan, the Victor, and the Valiant. The Vulcan is one of the all that I've always known of. And these clocks were attached to the radar device, which formed part of a huge panel that formed essentially the bombing apparatus. Now, thanks to our friends at Google, I found that a Dutch lady by the name of Tatiana van Vark, who had a penchant for recreating manned machines and appears more wizardly than Tesla himself, she recreated the complete bombing apparatus of the V-bombers to show how it works. Insanely brilliant. Just brilliant. The downside, though, I can't see the clock in those photos. Can you? Sadly, Tatiana's website seems to be no longer maintained and hasn't been maintained for a while, so I couldn't find out any more information or any other photos of that apparatus. Now, there is an old Vulcan bomber at the East Midlands Air Museum, and I wonder if it's worth taking this clock along to see if the guys there who run that museum have any idea to show how this fits into it. And depending on how quickly the owner wants this one back, I might suggest that little venture, because I think it would just answer a lot of questions. Not completely dispel the mystery, but answer a lot of questions. I'm also hoping that you guys out there, they always ask the public for information, I think. If you've got anything that you can share on this, the history, etc., that would be absolutely superb. The reason for that is that the only thing I can really see on these things is from back in the early noughties, so it doesn't look like anybody's been doing any research, digging around, or looking for further information on these. But again, just a beautiful little piece of horological history, military history, aviation history. So yeah, not much more I can say on that. I also think perhaps lastly it would look great converted into sort of, like a little wooden desktop clock or something like that. Anyway, those are just my random thoughts as always. Look forward to hearing your comments and thoughts on this one, guys. Thanks as always for your time and for your view, and we'll catch you all in the next vid. Cheers, guys.